To start, both of you play the younger versions of Ed and Lorraine Warren. What does it feel like to step into the shoes of these beloved characters in this iconic franchise?
Madison, you can start.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel incredibly grateful. And I think both Orion and I felt a lot of responsibility to do these characters justice and to do Vera and Patrick justice and Ed and Lorraine justice. And yeah, I feel honored to be a part of the Conjuring universe. It's super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the biggest thing, when when we were cast, it was like, what big shoes, to try and step into. Um, these absolutely legendary characters and legendary actors who were creating incredible performances. So just as Madison said, trying to do that justice.
So Madison, did you get to work with Vera at all to get a deeper understanding of Lorraine starting this process?
Yeah, she was incredible. We had a wonderful sit down meeting together where we just talked about the character, and she has just such a wealth of knowledge for playing Lorraine for so many years. And she was an open book. She's like, any questions you have, feel free to ask. And she was really gracious with her time and sharing everything Lorraine. She was wonderful. And she taught me how to do the rosary, how she wraps it. We have videos of that. Yeah, she was amazing. She's just coolest.
Nice. And so Ed Warren is also such an established character, and Patrick Wilson brings this very intense presence to him. Orion, did you find it easier or more difficult to take on a role of such an established character?
I'd say more difficult for sure. I mean, taking on the role. I also had the opportunity to talk with Patrick about it, and just the advice, he gave me was really like, you gotta go all in. Like, you've got to fully embrace this character and fully just give it your all. Like, whenever you're on set, totally give it your all. And I definitely remembered that throughout the whole time filming. And I think, hopefully it was able to fill that difficulty a little bit better.
So Madison, though we haven't seen much of young Lorraine yet, there is this really incredible shot in the trailer of you just distraught and scared in like the side view mirror. So what was it like to work with Michael to bring that fear alive?
Michael's incredible. He's just an incredibly supportive and encouraging director, but he also has a really specific vision. And he loves horror so much, and he loves making movies and making horror movies so much. So his energy is super infectious. And I think as an actor, it was just such a delight to work with him. And yeah, he knows what he wants, but he's really encouraging and he believes in us so much. And he's like, I know you got this. You can do this. You're here for a reason. So he was incredible.
So Ryan, with Last Rites being centered on the end of the paranormal investigating for Ed and Lorraine, what is the importance of revisiting the beginning of their story through you guys?
That's a good question. Uh, I think it makes it a more well-rounded understanding of who they are, because we've gotten a lot of their lives as throughout the years with the different movies and the different cases. But really understanding, I think the more time we have with them, the more we actually understand their characters and why they do what they do, who they are in relation to each other, how have they grown throughout the years. So I think it really just deepens the audience's relationship with who they are.
Hmm. So Vera and Patrick set this really high bar with the deep love between Ed and Lorraine. How did you two work together to translate that to their younger selves?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the relationship between Ed and Lorraine is one of the reasons I love The Conjuring so much. It's like the North Star of everything. It's so special. I feel super lucky that we got to be counterparts. I don't know. I found Orion to be just so easy to connect to, and it felt really natural, and the chemistry was there. So I think it was leaning into that and becoming true friends with each other and enjoying each other's company, which you can tell Vera and Patrick also just love each other's company so much. But yeah, we spent a lot of time together in London. We were very kind of isolated in our own little bubbles. So we just spent every day talking about their relationship and our characters and their dynamic.
Yeah, I totally going off of that. Because when we were in London, like, it's a different country. I don't know anybody. Like, totally in the
Yeah.
wild. So we'd get together, and we were in this small town, St. Albans, which, is kind of like a one road town. So we went to kind of like we had our staples that we would go to. So even on the days that we didn't plan on seeing each other, be getting coffee at 10 and be like, "Hey, what's up? Good to see you again." So yeah, but even just like out of the gate, I remember going to the callback and we were the only two who were called back. And as soon as we saw each other, to my memory, it was kind of just like we started to get to work. Like we started to be like, "All right, let's do this. Let's create this movie. Let's, you know, we knew the roles that we were stepping into, and it felt effortless to me to build that relationship."
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
And for both of you, when you're doing such intense work in the horror genre, how do you bring yourself back down from those like high adrenaline moments?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
It is really intense, and I think it's sort of a practice of like pacing yourself too, because you have these really long days with these really high stakes scenes. I think kind of calling your family, getting in, having these staples, these relationships in your life that you can come back to and just talk to, and you don't have to have any energy around these people. For me, that's really grounding and super important.
Mhm. For me, it was really long baths.
Mhm.
That was I'm really not a bath person. I've never done it, but for whatever reason in London, every day after a long day on set, I'll just go back to the room and just like draw a hot bath and just lay there and just let everything melt away and just um yeah, that was really refreshing for me. That was really a great experience.
Feels like the way to go.
Yeah. I like
I
I'm
would turn
I'm
on
pro
some
baths now.
bad reality TV, and I'm just like, ah,
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
back
Back
to
into the
me.
present.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
So, Madison, the story seems to center around a demon Ed and Lorraine are running from in their youth. What can audiences expect to learn about them as we revisit their past?
I think it's sort of what Orion mentioned earlier, just a deeper understanding of why and how they are where they are and kind of yeah, getting a bit of an understanding of their beginnings, which paints their life story in a really nice way.
Oh, yeah. Do you either of you have any favorite memories from filming?
I like the scary door story. That's my
Yeah,
favorite memory. Yeah.
it's great.
This is pretty much like we were on set and everybody's always wondering like are horror movie sets haunted? What's it like? And a lot of it's like pretty normal. But there was one day we were filming and just like at the exact moment, I think it was the first take is what Madison remembered.
I think of our first scene.
Yeah, so just like the craziest setup and right at the perfect time, this door opens by itself. And everyone on set was like, "Whoa, that was weird." And they like,
Still,
blocked up. They put a sandbag behind it so it wouldn't happen again. We were like, "All right, that's the way to start for sure."
You're right in, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm at Madison. So when people discuss the scariest franchises, The Conjuring is always in that conversation. How does the level of fear in this film compare to the past in the series?
I think the audience is going to be super happy. Horror fans, I think, will be very, very satisfied with the level of scare. Scares me, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I already know what to expect. And I'm like, no.
And then Orion, what do you think it is about the Conjuring franchise that makes them such standout movies to people?
I really think it's Ed and Lorraine. I think it's that at the heart of these movies that are about so much evil and about so much destruction and fear that somehow throughout it all, like Ed and Lorraine are able to love each other and love other people and help other people. I really think that's the heart of it.